Once in a long while, a rare being lights up this world. Not only does he burn with a flame bright, his flame lives on in his legacy, long after he has passed away. This is the story of such a man, Lakshmipat Singhania. His flame will always live on.
कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन मा कर्मफलहेतुर्भूः मा ते संगस्त्वकर्मणि.
You have a right to perform your prescribed duty, but you are not entitled to the fruits of action. Never consider yourself the cause of the results of your activities, and never be attached to not doing your duty. This was one of his favorite sayings and the code that Lakshmipat ji lived by. It is not only machinery that becomes obsolete. One has to guard against the obsolescence of the mind. I am convinced about the bright future of India, and we must draw inspiration from our own history and own thinkers. Lakshmipat was born in Kanpur on the 23rd of November 1910. He was the youngest of 6 children and was loved by all. His mother, Rampyari Devi, was a pious lady and was highly respected by everyone. His father, the legendary Kamlapat ji, had the good fortune to live at a time when giants such as Swami Vivekananda, Rabindranath Tagore, and Mahatma Gandhi walked the earth. What he learned from these great men, he passed on to his sons. He also passed on an industrial conglomerate that had already made a significant mark on the industrial scene of India. Apart from this, Lakshmipat managed to learn much from him in terms of vision, patience, astuteness, and human relations. He was inducted into the family business when he was in his early teens. His eye for detail and broad vision on projects soon placed him at the helm of affairs in the group. Even the professional executives with impressive degrees turned to him for advice and guidance.
To achieve greatness in life, a human being needs courage, energy and vision. My father, Lala Lakshmipat ji, possessed all 3 qualities in abundance. Courage enabled him to think of doing things which most people considered impossible. His energy enabled him to galvanize himself and large teams into meaningful action. His vision enabled him to look further ahead into the future than others could. No wonder he was able to lead the GIG organization to commanding heights during his lifetime.
When he was 16, he was married to Pushpavati from the reputed Jalan family in Kolkata. It was a well-matched union, and Pushpavati remained by his side as a support throughout his life. Shortly after his marriage, Lakshmipat ji was inspired to set up a jute mill in Kanpur. It was a bold move because at that time the jute industry was mainly confined to Bengal. Still only 19 years old, Lakshmipat got intimately involved in the building of this mill. He acquired expertise and knowledge, which was of crucial importance to the family business. His journey into the business world had begun. When he shifted to Kolkata, he acquired one of the largest jute mills in the world, the Ganges Manufacturing Company. Even in his early years, Lakshmipat was recognized by his peers as a natural leader. Very early on, Lakshmipat ji realized that the JK Group needed a common symbol. In a sense, he saw into the future and anticipated the importance of corporate branding. In 1943, after studying several designs, he selected the hand and hammer emblem. The wheel represents industry and the 24 teeth denote round-the-clock activity. It is also a symbol of progress through industrial activity. The raised hand with the hammer signifies man and the tool, while the firm grip symbolizes strength. Sri Lakshmipat established the Aluminium Corporation of India, which in 1944 produced, for the first time in India, aluminium metal from Indian bauxite. It was a landmark pioneering achievement. It broke the monopoly of an international cartel. It was such a challenging venture that engineers feared the plant would explode on commencement. So what did Lakshmipat do? He personally stood in the furnace room when the current was switched on. A brave act of a true leader. In 1947, he took over as chairman of the National Insurance Company. By now, he had shifted his headquarters from Kanpur to Kolkata to be closer to the pulse of activity. Under his guidance, National Insurance grew to become one of the largest insurance companies in India, with the maximum number of overseas branches. The company had many firsts to its credit, including the first Indian company to ever insure aircraft. In a similar vein, the list of business achievements of Lakshmipat Singhania go on and on. In 1950, he was entrusted with the responsibility of managing Straw Products Limited, a company established in 1938 to manufacture straw board from straw in Bhopal. Under Lakshmipat's vision and guidance, it converted waste materials such as wheat straw and waste paper to produce quality boards. A fine early example of converting waste to wealth. After taking Straw Products Limited to new heights, he decided to set up a fully integrated new paper plant at Raigada, a backward area of Odisha. This is the origin of what is now one of India's largest paper companies, JK Paper Limited.
Talking about my father, he was very particular in speedy completion of projects. The paper plant was erected in a short span of 10 months and then went on to become the foremost modern paper plant in the country, subsequently producing quality paper like Maplitho, AML, bonds and coated paper. In years to come, people will realize that such astonishing achievements were all in a day's work for Lakshmipatji.
JK Steel was set up in 1952 to manufacture jute baling hoops, which was subsequently expanded to manufacture diversified steel products such as steel wires and wire ropes, electric hoists, and material handling equipment. Another major diversification was the entry into the field of automotive tires. Lakshmipat planned and conceptualized the modern JK tire plant in JK Gram near Kankroli in Rajasthan, in technical collaboration with General Tyres USA. It went on to produce the first steel-belted radials in the country, and today operates from multiple plants in India and abroad. Lakshmipat Singhania was one of the key forces behind the group becoming one of the largest industrial houses in India. Apart from Straw Products Limited, a number of large companies such as JK Business Machines and Hoyles Paints Limited, among others, were established or acquired, and companies like JK Lakshmi Cement Limited were set up. Other important companies in the group at that time were JK Cotton Spinning and Weaving Mills, Raymond, JK Synthetics, and JK Helen Curtis, amongst others.
My father, Lala Lakshmipatji, had the passion for creating and growing industry in India. Even when his two large companies, Aluminium Corporation and National Insurance, were nationalized, he was not deterred in his zeal to go on. What may have turned back a lesser man put more resolve and fire in the heart of Lala Lakshmipatji. Babuji could foresee the importance of infrastructural growth in India and the important role the highway networks would play in the economic activity. He envisaged putting up the most modern tire plant in the country, as automobile tires are integral to road transport. Today, JK Tyre has become one of the world's 20 largest tire manufacturers.
Lakshmipat ji attributed a large part of the organization's success to its people. He was much ahead of his time when it came to the welfare of employees. All-inclusive townships like JK Nagar at Asansol, West Bengal and JK Pur at Raigada, Odisha was set up for the benefit of the organization's employees. Modern facilities and amenities like well-laid metal roads, markets, staff canteens, clubs, a hospital, dispensaries, schools and post offices were established. A Provident Fund scheme for all companies in the JK organization was introduced as early as 1937, much before it became mandatory. Similarly, gratuity and other perks for the benefit of employees were introduced long before these became statutory. However, Lakshmipat's commitment to welfare went beyond the confines of the employees of the organization. It encompassed the welfare of society at large. It was due to his efforts that the All India Heart Foundation was established in Delhi, the first conscious movement for fighting cardiovascular diseases in the country. The JK Institute of Radiology and Cancer Research, a leading institute in the country for the treatment of cancer, was set up in Kanpur on his initiative. In the field of education too, his commitment shone through. He set up 23 primary schools in Kanpur district alone. Continuing his focus on education, he set up schools in all the states of India where the JK organization had a presence. Today, many of these schools are managed under the aegis of the Lakshmipat Singhania Education Foundation.
Lakshmipat Singhania Academy started in the year 1996 with the ideals of Lala Lakshmipat Singhania, and he believed that education is not just writing or reading. Education is for life.
When it came to his personal interests, Lakshmipat ji was very much a man for all seasons. He was interested in golf and cricket. He had an inherent flair for the fine arts, particularly music, actively patronizing the All India Music Conference at Kolkata every year. Like a diamond, there were many facets to Lakshmipat, and different people have different memories of him.
We deeply feel his presence in all the facets of our working, as his complete value system has been ingrained in our DNA. We have great confidence in the growth of all our businesses, and especially in the case of JK Lakshmi Cement, as its very name Lakshmi is dedicated in his memory, and I am proud to be a part of his legacy.
My brother, Mr. Lakshmipat Singhania, he was very traditional as well. He was very modern in his thoughts. In 1960, when I decided to go to America for my higher education, he is the one who supported me wholeheartedly and encouraged me to finish my education.
I remember my grandfather as a strict but loving person. He was disciplined and particular, but at the same time, I think he spent time with his grandchildren, taking us out, playing with us.
Babaji actively promoted sports. He believed that sportsman's spirit is very important in any working environment.
It was ironic that a man with such a big heart should have everything except a medically strong heart. Despite that, he managed to reach out and touch so many people in so many different ways. Finally, in 1976, at the still young age of 66, he passed away.
Sri Lakshmipat Singhania was a visionary, an entrepreneur, a humanitarian, and a leader of outstanding qualities.
As we celebrate the 100th birth anniversary of Lakshmipat Singhania, we are proud of the legacy he left behind. The companies, the schools, the hospitals, the townships, and most of all, his values and philosophy, all of which continue to guide us and give us the inspiration to aim higher. Today, his legacy surrounds us with happiness, prosperity, and enlightenment. Lakshmipat ji, the world is proud to have known you. May your flame always live on.